Thank you, Water Board. I'm Kevin Kelley with Imperial Irrigation District, and I'm last because I'm the least well prepared. I will also be very brief because I've been at each of your workshops, and they now we've been doing this 6 times. IID filed its petition in November of 2014. I've been before your board in the past and expressed some frustration with what I believed was a process that was long on process. And I think that we are finally to the point where there's been quite enough talk, and we can now set about the business of performance, which is what's needed. The petition, I would just sort of remind everyone that that was the motive force in spurring this discussion about the Salton Sea. The first thing you have to do with a regional sort of local issue like Salton Sea is to make people outside the region care about it. And I think that with your help, we've managed to do that. IID's own contribution to this process beyond the petition was to advocate for a 10-year plan. You will hear from others who will, I think, strenuously argue that what's needed is a robust 75-year plan. And that was IID's position heading into this. I think what we've learned is that if we don't address the 10 years, the subsequent years are academic because we will have failed. A couple of things that have happened before we got to a stipulated order was the establishment of a task force, the governor's own action plan, and I think we're to the point now where we cannot allow the perfect or the ideal to stand in the way of the good. And this stipulated order, I would suggest to your board, represents the good. It's viable. It represents consensus among our 3 agencies. And I believe it's achievable. And that's really what is needed at the Salton Sea, is to demonstrate that we can succeed there. There are going to be people you'll hear from who are going to want something more grandiose. They will say that this plan falls short because it's too modest in its goals. But I believe 10 years is the right time frame. I think that there's great significance and importance in the consensus among our 3 agencies. That was not easy to get to. All of our agencies have obviously our own constituencies, even within our own region. So IID, Imperial County, and San Diego County are all essential parties at the Salton Sea. But the state of California is an indispensable partner. As far as next steps, we obviously are here to urge your board to adopt the stipulated order. We believe that it provides the opportunity for all the parties to achieve that success I spoke of earlier. What's needed at the Salton Sea here on the cusp of the mitigation water going away is performance. Projects on the ground that people can see and believe in. The stipulated order gives us a path forward, and that's what's been missing. It is not all that we wanted, but it works. And in closing, I'll just give you a little homespun homily. I have a daughter who believes she needs a new car. So far, she's been unsuccessful in persuading me of that. But, however disappointed she may be, she continues to drive the old car. What's needed at the Salton Sea is a car. And I believe this stipulated order fits the bill. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you, panel, and appreciate the hard work to get to this point, and also always appreciate when Voltaire is quoted, with the perfect and the good and all that. That comes down to a lot of the work we do around here, and what's great is how much good we together really can accomplish. So thanks for those great words and all those efforts. Before you leave, we talk about, this sets up a framework as I'm looking at the details of the stipulated order that's proposed. And if we slip and don't meet certain performance targets, as you mentioned, Ms. Turner, there's some circling back to those obligations. Do you think that we also provide a way to somehow reward accelerated implementation, so that if we are able to successfully surpass benchmarks that are laid out here, do you feel that there's incentive to do that, number one? Well, yeah, clearly, there's going to be the environmental economic benefits of doing that, but are there other built-in mechanisms here that you can take advantage of to accelerate?
I think Katie does have something to respond to that, but just quickly let me say that we've not touched on the funding piece here. The truth is that our stipulated order was going to go forward with our concurrence, absent the full funding scheme that we had asked for. There are conversations, as you know, in the building right now about full funding for Phase 1. We are ardently in support of that. But if, as you say, we not only meet the marks, but we do it timely, it'll be because there's real money associated with it, and then we really can have confidence in a 10-year plan.